Wow, look at the makeup carnage that took place here. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've decided I'm going to depot some of my blushes. I'm going to be using this amazing OG vintage UNII palette from back in the day. Do you guys even know what UNII is? Okay, so I've been obsessed with owning one of these for years now. This brand was actually discontinued quite some time ago, but one of my amazing subscribers, her name is UNII. I hope you're okay with me saying your name, by the way. But yeah, one of my subscribers actually surprised me with this in the mail last month. Now this arrived in my mailbox right around the time, like just after Eugene, my black cat, had passed away. This was just like the perfect pick-me-up for my mood. And I think Amie, you said that your cat passed away not too long ago as well, so I appreciate the sympathy and solidarity there. Anyone else who's also lost a pet before, you know, unfortunately, for better or worse, we're all in this club together. But yeah, like this is amazing. How on earth did you find this? Because I really thought I'm the master of finding like the most obscure things ever. I'll go on eBay, Poshmark, Japanese Mercari, American Mercari. Like I really thought that I had all of those thrift, secondhand sites, whatever you want to call them. I thought that I had those down on lock, but apparently not, because I was never able to find an UNII palette. So anyway, it came in this like foldable carton, which is actually really cool when you open it up, because you realize that, here, I don't know if I can get it in the entire camera frame, because you realize that like it's actually one singular piece of paper shaped in an oval. I've never seen packaging like this before. Why did this brand stop producing palettes? They had such a good product, honestly. I actually like looked up the founder at one point and I debated on contacting her for a possible like revival of the brand, or I don't know, I just wanted to see if she would be open to maybe like me kind of reviving this design, even if it's not the UNII brand itself. Yeah, like I've never seen a customizable palette quite like this before. It reminds me of one of those old school MacBooks. Iconic, right? The creator of this brand is a Korean American girl. I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. I'll throw it up in a caption. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll see if I can get in touch with her, but that's completely just a pipe dream, and that's completely separate from the point of this video. I rounded up all the blushes that I tend to use the most, and I realized that blush is one of those things that I just never willingly spend money on, even though I love blush as a product, and 99% of the time I always put on a blush color. But in terms of like where I want my money to go, blush is very, very low down on the list for me. I think because it just takes particularly long to finish or even hit pan on a single blush. I don't think I've ever hit pan. Yeah, I don't recall ever hitting pan on a blush before. The last time that I went out of my way to buy new blushes was for the Excel Erratic blush. Do you remember those when they first came out? Even that, it was like, well, number one, those are in a really cool ombre design, which you know is kind of my kryptonite, so I was drawn in by that visually. And also I just wanted to provide swatches for people because it was a new release at the time and people were really interested in it, but they were kind of pricey for drugstore blushes. Yeah, those things were 800 yen a piece plus tax, which is why I eventually actually ended up selling all of them, because I realized that, I mean, aside from the cool novelty factor of the gradient design, at the end of the day, you mix it up anyway to get an even wash of color on your cheeks. So that product quickly lost its appeal for me. Since then, I really have just been sticking to this lot right here. So this should actually be a relatively pain-free process. Most Japanese brands, or K-beauty brands as well, the pans are pretty easily removable. Usually there's a hole in the bottom of each little compact. You can basically just push a push pin through that and apply a little pressure and it should pop right off. The only downside is that the pants are actually held in place by this really sticky glue substance. It's like it stays sticky, so you have to find a way to wipe it off, which I'm gonna try a few makeup removers actually, because I don't think that it's gonna come off with just simply an alcohol wipe or something. And then after you clean off the glue, most of the pens are not magnetized by themselves, so you have to add these little magnet adhesives to the back. I think the UNII palette actually came with like a whole magnetic sheet, and you're supposed to be able to cut that into whatever shape you need for your pan. I seem to have misplaced that sheet somewhere. I can't find it, but that's okay because I can actually just use these little metallic plates, which are left over from some of my old Z palettes. I am using a safety pin today because I couldn't find a push pin, but I recommend that if you can use a push pin, that might be even better because those actually have a blunter point, so I feel like it's probably safer. So I'm starting with Canmake's Glow Fleur Cheeks. I'm just gonna peel this off, the label right here. So you can see right away actually, since this is a clear package, there's a hole in the middle right here. So I'm gonna stick my safety pin through that and just push. Okay, never mind, that didn't work. I think I was right in my assumption that it's more difficult to do with a pointed end. Since I don't have a push pin, I'm actually just gonna take this earring back right here. This is an earring from Daiso, so I really don't care if it gets ruined. You see how the end here is blunt? Sorry, this is super ghetto, but so there's the pan, and then the glue here is sticky, so I'm gonna grab some sponge cleaner and see if that can remove the glue. Okay, so that didn't really go as planned. I ended up having to use quite a few different cleaning solutions. You can see that it's still kind of sticky though, like it's not completely all removed. Yeah, I really hate this glue. That's the downside of how easy it is to remove the palettes, is that you have to find a way to get rid of this glue. I used to have these Almay oil-based makeup remover pad things. They came in like a circle pad. Those were perfect for removing this exact type of glue. I would just have to do one swipe and it would come off immediately. But then those are obviously not sold in Japan, so when I ran out, and I've been out of luck ever since. Which is fine because I don't depot things very often. If you're someone who's really into depotting makeup and making your own palettes and stuff, I would suggest, if you're working with a lot of Japanese makeup products, and if you're really a stickler for having a clean, super neat transfer, then I would suggest that you pick up those Almay wipes. So far, those are the only things in my experience that remove this glue completely. But anyway, for today, this is as good as we're gonna get. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick a magnet on the back there. Oh my god, you guys, it's not sticking. Look at this, it's not sticking. Okay, that's okay though, because I actually found the original sheet, the magnetic sheet that came with this palette. So actually here, let me just check that this one sticks. Yeah, okay, that one definitely has some decent grip to it. Yo, this one like doesn't stick at all. Isn't that crazy? These came with my Z palettes though, so these definitely work when I use them for the Z palettes, but it seems like not all magnets are made the same. There we go, it's nice and sticky now, or magnety. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that aside, and then I'm gonna speed through the other depottings because it's just gonna be the same thing over and over again. What? Are you kidding me? This one doesn't have a hole? Alright, but you see it's still held in place by the glue, the sticky glue, so I'll just pop this out the old-fashioned way. What the hell? They all are supposed to have holes. And of course this happens. So this video is going perfectly. First we have the magnets not working. Then I nearly shatter one of my blushes. That's okay though, we push on. Okay, and then next, I don't know if I ever showed this blush on camera, but this is by Media, which is a brand under the Kanebo umbrella. And this is in the color Red 02. Kind of weird that they named it red because this pretty much looks like a mid-toned coral to me. And this one is, ooh, that's a big hole right there. Okay, finally something that's easy to remove for once. Okay, so this formula I was actually very surprised at. I picked this up on a total whim. I think it was like 600 yen or something crazy cheap like that. But it has like a really smooth porcelain doll-like effect when you blend it out. I really like that because you see how it looks dewy? It doesn't look like powder on your cheeks. Similar to the Can Make Glow Fleur cheeks. It just gives like a really beautiful, smooth finish. Okay, I'm gonna remove all of this glue to the best of my ability off camera because it just gets really messy. Alright, so while I wait for these pans to completely dry in the back here, I'm just gonna go ahead and depot. I don't think all three of these are gonna fit, but I'll choose one of my L'Oreal Paris Le Bar à Blush shades. Let's see, which one do I want? I was originally thinking that I shouldn't depot these because even though the packaging is kind of bulky, I do feel like it's a nice little sleek aesthetic. Plus the pan itself is quite large, even though it only takes up half the palette. So I'm not sure how that's gonna fit in here. Actually, let me just do a little test. Okay, maybe I can fit two, but let me start off with this number 10. It's called Play With Me. I like this because it's like a really bright tangerine orange, almost pastel in color. I don't come across many blushes that are this light. I feel like it's just a really fun and flirty shade for summer especially. Even when it's not summer, you can be fun and flirty. Okay, so actually this one doesn't have a hole either. What the hell?
Everything I know is a lie!
Well, this is L'Oreal, so it's not a Japanese brand, so I'm not surprised. But this is actually not a hole. See, because I tried to push it, but it actually just, it stops at a pretty shallow place. So I'm just gonna loosen it up. I do think I can just barely fit another one of these L'Oreal blushes in there, so let me see. Let me decide which one I want. Okay, it's gonna have to be this burnt terracotta shade for me, even though I do like this one as well, but I feel like this is more of a bronzy vibe. Yeah, so we'll just keep this one in its original pan. Since this is the last pan, I will go ahead and show you kind of like the winning combination that I eventually found to work best for removing this pesky glue. The Almay wipes are still hands down the best. The ironic thing is that for me, I actually don't really enjoy those that much for their intended purpose, which is eye makeup remover, because I feel like while they do remove the makeup really well and really quickly, it's almost like too oily. No matter how much I wash my face afterwards, I still have a ton of oil residue left from those pads, which is something that I don't fault the product for because they do state very clearly that it's an oil-based makeup remover wipe, so that's fine. But I just wanted to let people know that by pure chance, I found out that they are absolutely phenomenal at wiping off this glue on the back of these powder pans. I don't know if you would want to spend that much money on wipes just for that purpose alone, but to be honest, like if I had access to them, I would have bought them for the purpose of this video because I just like to keep things as clean and sanitized as possible. Okay, since we don't have that though, I'm gonna tell you my winning combination for today, which is the makeup brush detergent by Daiso. And make sure you get the makeup brush detergent, not the sponge detergent. There's two kinds. So we're gonna put some on a tissue and just apply strong pressure. Don't just like wipe it across the pan because then that might spread the glue out and make the situation even worse. You want to press down really super hard and almost like scoop the glue up with your fingers through the tissue. And I find that that gets most of it off. So after you do that, you're probably still going to be left with a tiny bit of sticky residue. I just go in with these alcohol wet tissue wipes. I don't know what brand this is, but any alcohol wipes should do. And I just do a final wipe down. All right, now I'm going to cut out the rest of my little magnets. And voila! There we have it! Finally! My completed cheek palette. Whew, this was kind of a labor of love. I really thought that this was going to be like a quick little 5-minute video. I was not expecting to run into so many technical difficulties. I think because I was watching a bunch of like depotting, makeup depotting ASMR type of videos earlier today. So I think I got lulled into a false sense of security from that because yeah, it just did not go quite as smoothly as I had hoped. But at the end of the day, I don't think I did too shabby, except for this little hiccup right here, but we're just gonna ignore that. At least the rest of the powder is intact. Oh my god, look at how cute it is. I am so thrilled to have this UNII palette. Thank you again, Amie. You are amazing, girl. Like, you are truly the MVP for finding the last UNII palette on earth. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for hanging out with me as usual, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!